I just made a Smurf account on Pokemon Unite, and playing that has made me think, what 5 things do I wish I knew when I first started playing this game? Let's get into it. So, these are in no specific order, but number 1, how to play the first objective. So, in the Unite training in the game, it teaches you to go for the top objective first. It is confirmed 100% the devs are only Rotom fans. But for the first objective, it's way more important to secure the bottom one because of the added XP that it gives your team. For the second objective, it can be very situational on which one to go for. But for the first objective, you've got to ignore the game's training and just go for that bottom Reggie. I've spent so many games as a beginner in this game thinking that the top objective was so important. Okay, this next one I think will always be discussed on any beginner guide or any things that I wish I knew when I started guide or anything like that, because the EXP share is such a valuable item in this game, but the game does a terrible job of explaining how it works. We've all been there where someone is thanks pinging us into next week because we secured the farm and they have no idea that they still got that tasty XP. I have had so many Cinderace players just stood there because I secured the farm even though they got the XP. Maybe a visual demonstration could be added to the held item description, or better yet, just a ping that says, I have EXP share, dipshit, you still got that XP. Like, definitely suits this game. Anyway, so EXP share. If you're in lane with someone having this item equipped, this is mega good, and it means you will still get that 100% of XP from that farm. Whether I secure it, whether you secure it, it doesn't matter. As long as you're standing next to me, you will also get as much of that XP as possible. So it's worth having. It's 100% worth having. So please, as a beginning player, anyone that's watching this video, do not ping someone for taking the farm with EXP share on. We're fed up of it. I'm begging you, please. Alright, with this one, believe it or not, but the way you clear your jungle, it can make a huge difference on your game. So this one's pretty specific for jungle players, which is what I was when I first started playing this game, just because I really love species. Absol's my favourite Pokemon, so I went straight for it when I started playing this game. So yeah, the way that you take your jungle can make a huge difference and can really help out your team. So as a jungler, you need to balance helping out your 2 lanes as well as farming to keep up your levels, and that can be quite difficult as a jungler in this game. Now, the one thing that I wish I knew when I first started was how to efficiently take my jungle so it comes back in an ideal manner, as well as how long it takes for farm to come back. So as you can see in this clip here, I'm wanting to gank the top lane, so taking the red buff first is more efficient because it will spawn as I come back into the jungle from that lane. Then I can get the whole jungle and either decide to help out the bottom lane or rotate into mid, but it means that I'm managing to keep that pressure as a jungler on both lanes, as well as keeping my farm. It's really, really huge, and I wish I knew this when I started playing the game. It was only from watching videos from Spraggles, from Inda and all those kind of people that I kind of realized that this was the more optimal way to do jungling. So just this simple act of farm management makes a huge difference beginning to start to compete in this game. Alright, now this is going to be relevant to every single player. As you start playing Pokemon Unite, it takes so freaking long to unlock new items and upgrade them. And because of this, it's really important to pick up strong universal items first and work on upgrading them. It takes so long in this game, it's ridiculous. So, it will give you a much easier time playing the game and stop you getting flamed on Twitter for having really bad builds. But the following items can be used by majority of Pokemon quite well and should be concentrated on being upgraded first. So we have the Muscle Band, the Focus Band, the EXP Share, the Energy Amp, the Attack Weight, and the Slick Spoon. These are what I would recommend you getting first and upgrading these first because they're used quite universally across Pokemon, and they're kind of used in pretty much all builds. I don't think I have a build that doesn't have one of these items on it at all. Now this one, honestly, it took 11 seasons before I realized that I could change the camera speed in this game. Settings are something that I've started to look at instantly once I start playing a new game. I didn't used to do that, but from playing Pokemon Unite, I've realized the differences that changing your settings really can make. You can change settings to make playing this game so much easier, and I strongly recommend changing the camera settings to zoom about really quickly, the advanced buttons so that you can press B to attack Wild Farm, so you can secure that 1 HP Rayquaza because nobody else is doing it, and the button for scoring so that you can just keep tapping it in case you get disrupted. Really, really useful settings to change. There's absolutely no reason not to change them. It's only ever going to be a benefit to your game. With these settings changes, you will be leveling up your gameplay and becoming Super Saiyan in this game. It's definitely worth doing. Go for it. Have a look at the settings. I'll show you on screen whilst I've been talking somewhere. Not quite sure where I'm going to put the camera yet, so we'll do that way, that way, that way, or that way. So you'll be able to see it on screen, but these are the settings that I strongly recommend. You're not losing anything from putting these settings on.